From a giant crab looking to make humans into a snack, to a strange new form of cat that looks about as creepy and weird as an alien, here are 12 terrifying creatures spotted on Google Earth. Number 12. Bigfoot in Canada. We all know about the legend of Bigfoot. This is the mysterious missing link between human and ape, a species that has lingered in the dark corners of the most inhospitable environments in the world. It lives in the wilderness of Canada, the northern United States, and high up in the mountains. People claim that it could be deadly, as it's not likely very happy with the way that humans have encroached on its environment for centuries. Evidence of the creature has never been concretely proven, but it remains a powerful force in our culture at the edges of fact and fiction. That is, until one day a Google Earth user uncovered something remarkable. Along the side of the road on the Trans-Canada Highway, a lengthy stretch of asphalt that winds across southern Canada from Vancouver all the way to the Atlantic coast, they found a picture of Bigfoot. Apparently, Google had captured this image without knowing what they'd found. Now, some people call this a fake, but it is absolutely real. The only question is, what is that dark figure in the center? Is it a bear, a human, or some previously unknown primate? We're just not sure, but investigators are salivating at the possibility of spending more time hunting down this incredible animal. And evidence like this only makes it more likely that they'll find something terrifying as well as revolutionary for biology and zoology alike. Number 11. Crabzilla. Near Whitstable, a place in Kent, England, a gigantic monster crab was spotted on Google Earth lurking in shallow water in the harbor of the town. This appears to be an open and shut example of a true Crabzilla, a mutation caused by some type of genetic abnormality or even experimentation by top-secret scientific facilities. Of course, the images of the creature immediately drew skepticism from scientists around the world, but true believers claim that it's evidence that there are mega creatures out there that could instantly snap a small fishing boat in two and send its crew to their untimely deaths. Skeptics say it's nothing but a sandbank, but a 50-foot wide crab sitting right off the edge of the dock? It doesn't seem like a sandbank to me. Currently, the largest known crab is the gigantic Japanese spider crab, which is a full 13 feet across. This would be 4 times as large if it were proven to exist. The evidence is there, now it's just a question of whether or not you believe your own eyes. Number 10. Antarctic Sea Monster. This grainy image comes to us from Google Earth in Antarctica. Specifically, this was taken near Deception Island, which sits deep in the Southern Ocean, covered by ice for much of the year. It's an appropriate name because it apparently harbors giant squids or other sea creatures that we haven't yet discovered. That is, until a satellite happened to put its camera over this square of ocean and spy something remarkable. Scientists weren't quite sure what it was, but later declared that they thought it was just a rock. Many people all over the world still harbored doubts, though. Could it be evidence of something a little bit more dangerous? Perhaps a sign of a life form that the authorities don't want everyone to know about? I'm not sure. What do you think? Tell me your opinion in the comments below. Then remember to subscribe to The Biggest for more amazing videos just like this one. Number 9. Strange Screaming Bunny. On a mountaintop in northern Italy sits a bizarre and terrifying bunny rabbit that was captured on camera by Google Earth's satellites and drones. It's a cartoony creature with pink skin and wide open eyes. In truth, it's over 200 feet long. It's got a totally unsettling look on its face, and it was put there by a group of artists to make a statement. What kind of statement were they looking to make? I'm not entirely sure, but I am sure that if I were in an airplane looking down at the Colletto Fava mountain, I wouldn't believe my eyes, no matter what they were telling me. The artists, a collective called Gelatin from Austria, were probably hoping to get that sort of reaction when they sculpted this beast. Number 8. Loch Ness Monster. Nessie, or the Loch Ness Monster, is one of humanity's most well-known cryptids. It's an animal that we think exists, but scientists just can't prove it. We've never had anyone catch a specimen alive. And if it's only one mutated animal living at the bottom of a lake in Scotland, it's possible no one ever will. Whenever an unclassified animal that looks like a cross between a dinosaur and a fish crops up in strange photographs, legends of the monster start coming out of the woodwork. Honestly, this image on Google Earth looks rather convincing to me. It could just be a whale, or a large fish, an inanimate object, or even some type of giant squid. But the fact that it doesn't look quite like any of those makes it a worthy candidate for being the real deal. To make things even more obvious, this image was in fact taken at Loch Ness itself. If that isn't evidence that makes you start entertaining the idea that this is legit, then nothing will. Number 7. Giant lizard in Japan. Is it Godzilla? It might just be related. This image from Google Earth shows a terrifying sight. A reptile of some sort is spotted climbing up the side of a building in Okinawa, Japan. If this isn't the real-life example of a mutated lizard making its way through the city with no regard for common decency, then I don't know what is. But let's be honest, unlike some of these mysterious and terrifying images, this one has to be an art project, not a monster. Looking at it, there's almost no chance that this is a real creature. It would have been shot down by the military before it could cause any real destruction. There's not a lot of information online about this image or the creature on the side of the building, but if I were in Japan, I would try to find this location myself and ensure that it was, in fact, an artistic installation designed to surprise and terrify people for a split second of extreme shock. And in that sense, it probably succeeds. It probably looks even scarier in real life. Number 6. Frog attack. This is about as clear as images come. It's a giant frog in the Amazon, and it's poised to attack people on board a ship, possibly dooming them to a painful death. It's missing a leg, signifying that it's seen some major battles in its day and is probably mean and violent. Well, not exactly. More likely, it looks to be a frog that has jumped on the camera lens and may have startled the photographers who were working for Google Earth at the time. A great many frogs in the Amazon region are poisonous though, so it's absolutely critical to be careful, no matter if the frog is small or terrifyingly enormous. To be fair, an image like this does startle you if you're casually scrolling through Google Earth. Some of the best Google Earth monsters are just normal creatures that found themselves in surprising situations. Number 5. Shadowy monster in New Zealand. New Zealand, being one of the most remote land masses on Earth, is bound to be home to some of the world's strangest and most terrifying creatures. But it's not until we had satellite imagery that we were able to get a glimpse at some of the most alarming. This image, taken in 2014, seems to show a massive creature lying at the bottom of the depths of Oki Bay, which is off of the North Island of New Zealand. If this is legit, it would be bigger than a blue whale, and much scarier. Some people claim that it's just a tree trunk, but there's no tree trunk that could grow that big. Others say it's just a trick of the light playing across the water, but it's a particularly unique and odd shape for something like that. Still others say it might just be a shipwreck that hasn't been salvaged yet. But researchers here agree there are no shipwrecks in this area that we know about. A giant fish, perhaps a bottom dweller, would make perfect sense in this photo. All I know is I wouldn't go into the waters of this bay without a very good radar system on board my boat and a motor that can go at warp speed to escape this bizarre beast. Number 4. Megalodon monster shark. In prehistoric times, the megalodon was a savage, gigantic shark that terrorized the seas for millions of years before being wiped out due to climate change several million years ago. That is, we suspect it was wiped out, but recent evidence has popped up that shows us otherwise. This photograph, taken off the coast of Italy, clearly shows the outline of a disgustingly large shark, one big enough to take a bite out of a boat without breaking a sweat. Scientists will say that it can't be real, that they would know about sharks this large if they did actually exist. To that I say, if I were an ancient and cranky shark, I would make it my business not to be detected by scientists, if at all possible. After all, I wouldn't want to attract attention to myself if I could just keep living my natural life and eating smaller sea creatures. Do you think there are megalodons still swimming in the deep seas today? Tell me your opinion in the comments section. Number 3. Frozen dinosaur carcass. Dinosaurs ruled the Earth between 250 and 65 million years ago. Scientists tell us that the planet was a much warmer place back then, with a richer atmosphere that led to giant reptiles on every continent. Of course, Antarctica was warmer too. It was further north and caught some sun every once in a while, leading it to have dinosaurs just as much as anywhere else. What that means is that it's not entirely impossible to imagine that some remnants of dinosaurs could have been fossilized and then frozen in the perpetual deep chill that Antarctica offers. That's why when this image of a dinosaur in Antarctica popped up on Google Earth, it was totally believable as a legitimate piece of incredible natural history. Skeptics claim that this was not a dead brontosaurus or other massive creature that had become uncovered by shifting winds and ice patterns in the snow, but rather an outcropping of ice. The problem is, it's very hard for scientists to quickly double-check things like this image because Antarctica is so remote. We just don't know for sure what's going on here, but it sure looks to me like a gigantic carcass of an animal lying on the ice, waiting to be uncovered. Number 2. White sea monster. Whenever there is some unexplained irregularity in a Google Earth image, you can bet that people will start cropping up offering strange explanations. That's exactly what happened in 2009, when this shape appeared in a picture online, and speculation started that it was a sea monster, or even the Loch Ness monster. That's the first place people go when they see terrifying shapes in the water, although it's just not clear enough to know for sure. What we do know is that scientists are identifying new marine species every week, and so images like this play at our imaginations, asking us to entertain the idea that there are gigantic aquatic animals out there waiting for us to discover them. I'd like to believe that this squid or shark-like creature is actually a new species, or even a mutated animal. Although every time I see something like this, it makes me less and less eager to go swimming in the open ocean. There's a lot of danger out there, and terrifying creatures that we don't even have classified yet are only a small part of it. Number 1. Two-legged mutant cat. Cats don't look like this. They just don't. There's something weird and unsettling about this mutant cat found on Google Earth walking down the street without a care in the world. It's walking on 2 legs like a bizarre human-cat hybrid. But most artistic depictions of human-cat hybrids don't look anything like this. It looks like a child's fantasy drawing of a cat person. Honestly, the longer you stare at it, the more disturbing it gets. How did a creature like this survive? What kind of mutation did it suffer? Skeptics and rationalists all agree that it's simply a trick of the camera, based on Google Earth's image reconstruction software that takes raw footage and turns it into an explorable world. Others want to believe that it's a real creature, and it probably ran away the second a person crossed its path. But this earless, 2-legged cat is undoubtedly terrifying, no matter how you explain away its existence. All you can say for sure is, if you saw something like this walking down the street, you would immediately run as fast as you could in the other direction. Thanks for watching. Which one of these bizarre images was your favorite? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. See you next time.